A brake job on a 2010 Volkswagen Golf, £300. The same job on a 2026 model, £750. Labour times have jumped 150%, and mechanics now pay up to £300 a year just for permission to read a fault code on your car. This is not nostalgia. Independent garages across Britain are being deliberately locked out of modern vehicles, and the trail leads somewhere most drivers never think to look. A 2010 Ford Fiesta rolls into the bay. The bonnet pops, and the entire front end is open to daylight. Every mechanic in the room knows what comes next. A familiar set of M8 and M10 bolts, a handful of Torx screws, and not a proprietary fastener in sight. The tools needed fit in a single battered tray. Ratchets, Allen keys, maybe a torque wrench if you're feeling thorough. Manuals for these cars, once published by Ford or Vauxhall, are still available free through the Independent Motor Trade Association. A brake job starts with a standard socket, a few turns on the caliper bolts, and the pads are out. No hidden clips, no security screws, no need to ring up the main dealer for a code. Jobs that would tie up a ramp for hours on a modern car used to be measured in minutes. Swapping an alternator? Unplug one connector, loosen two bolts, and it's in your hand. Changing a water pump? The whole assembly is right at the front, no battery pack or sealed module blocking the way. Even a timing belt on a Fiesta or Golf is just a matter of pulling off the cover and lining up the marks. The parts themselves are everywhere. Aftermarket pads and discs at half the dealer price, sensors and hoses stacked on shelves from Manchester to Maidstone. Diagnostics are just as straightforward. Plug in a cheap OBD reader, 20 quid from any motor factors, and the codes spill out in plain English. No subscriptions, no locked menus, no mysterious error screens. The OBD2 port on a 2010 car speaks the same language to every tool on the market, and most faults can be cleared with a button press. It's a system designed for anyone who knows their way around a spanner, not just those with a dealer badge and a laptop. For independent garages, this era wasn't just about nostalgia. It was about getting cars in, fixed, and back on the road without waiting for permissions or special deliveries. The pace was brisk, the work was hands-on, and the sense of control was real. Every job started with a toolkit, not a password. In these workshops, the 2010 Runabout wasn't just another car, it was the standard by which everything else would be judged. A 2026 VW Golf rolls onto the ramp. The mechanic reaches for a familiar socket set, but the job halts before it even begins. The front brake caliper is held by a pair of VW secure screws, pin in Torx fasteners, protected by a UK patent, and impossible to budge without a special driver that costs £400. The toolkit that once covered half the cars in Britain now sits useless, replaced by a branded case of security bits and torque-controlled wrenches. For a simple brake pad change, the time spent hunting for the right tool often rivals the work itself. It is not just the brakes. The exhaust manifold, once a separate casting, is now welded directly to the cylinder head. Removing it means stripping half the intake system and disconnecting sensors that snake under a sealed hybrid battery, tucked deep beneath the passenger footwell. That 12-kilogram battery pack blocks access to the lower engine mounts, so even a water pump swap demands hours of careful teardown. One misplaced touch triggers a high-voltage safety lockout, and the job grinds to a halt until the system resets. The numbers tell their own story. A 2010 Golf brake job took 4 minutes to remove the caliper, take the pads out, and fit new ones. The 2026 equivalent requires an extra 13 minutes just to get past the fasteners and shields, according to bench tests by Eurotech Automotive Research. Multiply that across a day's work, and the difference is measured in lost hours and rising bills. The mechanic's tray, once filled with standard M8s and Torx T25s, now bulges with proprietary bits, each tied to a different manufacturer's patent. One kit for BMW's Tri-Bolt, another for Mercedes M-Bolt, a third for the latest Ford pin Torx. Each set costs hundreds, and none are interchangeable. Even routine jobs have become a puzzle. Swapping an alternator means removing the hybrid cooling lines, then unbolting a bracket hidden behind a battery shield. The new packaging metrics, driven by emissions and crash standards, have left engine bays so tight that a single job can require half the front end to come apart. The frustration is written on the faces of mechanics up and down the country. Every extra step, every hidden fastener, every hour lost to a part that once took minutes. The hands-on work has not disappeared, but it is now wrapped in layers of plastic, patents, and proprietary steel. The job is still fixing cars, but the fight is with the design itself, long before a laptop ever comes out. The diagnostic port on a 2026 Golf looks familiar enough, but the moment a mechanic plugs in a standard OBD reader, the screen flashes up with the message ECU locked, access denied. The days of plugging in a 20-pound scanner and reading out fault codes are gone. Instead, the car's electronic control unit acts as a digital gatekeeper, demanding a handshake from an authorized tool before it will reveal anything. This is not just a password, it is a certificate issued by the manufacturer, checked every time you try to access the car's brain. Even the most experienced mechanics find themselves stuck. The tools that once worked on every car in the workshop now sit idle, replaced by dealer-only software that runs on a subscription. To unlock the full diagnostics menu or clear a fault, the garage must pay, sometimes £79 for a single month, sometimes £299 for one-off access to a specific system. A failed attempt means the screen stays locked, the job stalls, and the customer waits. One mechanic, frustrated after 3 failed logins, scrolls through a list of options. Pay per fault license £149. Annual subscription £899. The cost cannot be passed on for a simple job, but without it, the repair grinds to a halt. The technical wall does not end with diagnostics. Over-the-air updates are now mandatory for most critical repairs. If a sensor or module is replaced, the car demands a software reset that only a dealer-linked tool can perform. Without this handshake, the system refuses to accept the new part, and the warning light stays on. Independent garages must either invest in a manufacturer-approved telematics module or send the car to the main dealer, losing the work and the customer's trust. A dealer IT manager explains that they get a real-time certificate from the manufacturer every time they connect. If the handshake fails, the car will not talk to them either. For independents, the problem is cost. Each brand has its own gateway, its own license, and its own price list. The result is a patchwork of subscriptions, each one chipping away at the garage's margin. Physical repairs are no longer enough. Even after hours spent stripping out fasteners and carefully fitting new parts, the real job starts at the keyboard. The mechanic's skill is still essential, but unless the software wall is breached, the car stays locked in limbo, waiting for a code that only the manufacturer can supply. Invoices tell the story better than any sales pitch. On the left, a 2010 Ford Fiesta brake job, £120 for parts, £180 for labour, total £300. On the right, a 2026 VW Golf for the same work, £450 for parts, OEM only, no alternatives, and £300 for labour, bringing the total to £750. The difference is not just a few extra minutes lost to a stubborn fastener, but a bill that more than doubles. For drivers, that is the shock. For independent garages, it is a slow squeeze. Labor time is the first culprit. The average front brake pad replacement on a 2010 car took about an hour. By 2026, the same job stretches to nearly 2 hours in some shops, with national benchmarks showing a 70 to 150% increase in total labor time across common repairs. Every extra step, removing splash guards, unlocking battery covers, waiting for software authorization, adds up on the clock and on the invoice. Parts, too, have climbed. Aftermarket suppliers once offered pads and calipers for half the dealer price. Now, for a 2026 VW Golf, only the official part will fit, coded to the car's VIN and locked by firmware. The £120 set that once came in a brown box from Manchester now costs £450, shipped direct from the manufacturer's warehouse, with a warning that fitting a non-genuine part could trigger a system fault. No garage wants that callback. Margins have suffered. In 2010, an independent owner could expect about £120 profit on a standard repair. Now, with higher parts costs and lost time to diagnostics and subscriptions, that figure has dropped to £65. The numbers are reflected in market share. Independents once handled 55% of all after-sales work on mass-market cars, but by 2025, that has fallen to just 38%. Each lost job means another customer who goes back to the dealer, another small garage wondering how to keep the lights on. For one owner, the reality is written in red ink. He flips through the month's invoices, more jobs than ever, but less money left at the end. The cost is not just measured in pounds and pence, but in the slow erosion of trust between driver and garage. The question hangs in the air: who really benefits when the price of a simple repair has more than doubled, and the people who used to fix your car are forced to turn you away? Right now, a simple fault can lock out independent garages and drive up your bill by design, not by accident. As software tightens its grip on the humble car, the real cost lands on drivers. The future of motoring depends on who holds the keys. What do you think? What?